Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Priyanshi Sharma. The lead story, Nitish Kumar took oath as Bihar Chief Minister just a day after breaking JDU's alliance with the BJP and joining hands with the RJD. RJD's Tejashwi Yadav took oath as his deputy, and right after the swearing in, Nitish Kumar took a swipe at Prime Minister Modi, asking him he won in 2014, but will he win in 2024? The BJP has hit out strongly at Nitish Kumar today, calling him an opportunist. But the new Mahagathbandhan is now firmly in place. A question is, will it be different this time? Here's a report.
किसी चीज के उम्मीदवार का हम कोई दावेदारी नहीं। 14 में जो आए 24 तक के आगे रह पाएंगे कि नहीं रह पाएंगे वो अपना समझ।
उनके लोग आए, हमारे नेताओं से मिले और कहा कि नीतीश जी को उपराष्ट्रपति बना दीजिए, बिहार में आप सरकार चलाइएगा आप लोग।
अटल जी का और उस समय के सब लोगों का जो प्रेम था, उस चीज को हम कभी भूल सकते कितना अच्छा था।
ये लड़े अकेले, इनका जनाधार नहीं, अकेले लड़ेंगे तो इनको 5 या 6 सीट ज्यादा नहीं आएगा। ये मेरा चैलेंज।
Even to become a face and a contender, lot of parties and lot of leaders have to come together, they have to agree, and that itself in turn is a function of your own popularity among the masses, your acceptability.
A hug and a smile to seal Bihar's dramatic power shift. Nitish Kumar ditching the BJP to become CM for a record 8th time. By embracing ally turned rival turned ally, the RJD's Tejashwi Yadav, who will be his deputy. Only the big two took oath today at Patna's Raj Bhavan, an indication of the hurry with which the alliance was put together and the challenges ahead of power sharing. Right afterwards, Mr. Kumar ruled himself out as a contender for the 2024 Lok Sabha election while launching a political attack on the Prime Minister, asking whether Mr. Modi will get a third term.
सर 2024 के प्रधानमंत्री पद के उम्मीदवार होंगे आप?
नहीं, हम किसी चीज के उम्मीदवार का हम कोई दावेदारी नहीं।
आपके कार्यकर्ता
लेकिन इतना तो जरूर कर दीजिए ना कि 14 में जो आए 24 तक के आगे रह पाएंगे कि नहीं रह पाएंगे वो अपना समझ।
भाजपा के लोगों ने आज कहा कि सरकार बिहार की नहीं चलेगी और मुख्यमंत्री जी ने जो पलट में जो वार किया है, वो मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कहा कि 24 में ही सरकार गिर जाएगी, दोबारा आने वाले लोग नहीं हैं।
He also claimed his alliance with the BJP in 2020 damaged his party.
हम तो उस चुनाव के बाद नहीं बनना चाहते थे मुख्यमंत्री, लेकिन मुझ पर पूरा चारों तरफ से करके दबाव कि नहीं आप संभालिए, हम कर लिए। लेकिन बाद के दिनों में जो कुछ भी हो रहा था आप देख रहे थे ना, और पिछले 1.5-2 महीने से हम किससे बात कर रहे हैं आप लोगों से। हम लोगों का 15 में कितना सीट जीते थे, आज जब इन्हीं लोगों के साथ चले गए तो क्या हुआ है।
The BJP, subdued yesterday, today went on the offensive, holding dharnas across Bihar. A top BJP leader, once considered close to Nitish, claimed the Bihar Chief Minister ditched the BJP because he wanted to be Vice President.
They approached our ministers, senior ministers in Bihar, and they asked that if it is possible, please make some effort so that Nitish Kumar could become Vice President of India. And only 2 days back, Sri Amit Shah made a telephone call to Nitish Kumar. तो सीएम ने कहा कि नहरे में कुछ नहीं, सब ठीक ठाक है, चिंता मत करो।
In 2015, the Nitish-Tejashwi alliance collapsed in 2 years. Will it be different is the big question. A large number of supporters of both the Janata Dal United and the Rashtriya Janata Dal turned up today for Nitish Kumar and Tejashwi Yadav's oath-taking ceremony. Most of them expressed the confidence that their coalition this time will be more permanent and will also get political advantage in the next few years. Now, whether that happens or not, whether this alliance stands the test of time or not, remains to be seen. With Manish Kumar and Habib Ali, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Numbers show that Nitish Kumar's image is not teflon coated. That's what election strategist Prashant Kishor told NDTV, taking a dig at the Bihar Chief Minister. Kishor, who is a former aide of Nitish Kumar, also said how the Grand Alliance 2.0 works in Bihar would determine its impact on the 2024 general elections. Listen in to this exclusive conversation.
ये जो गवर्नेंस की बात है सर, आई थिंक ये दूसरी बार एक्सपेरिमेंट हो रहा है. 2015 से 17 भी हुआ
नहीं. 2015 और 17 जो 2015 का जो महागठबंधन था और आज का जो महागठबंधन है, इसमें जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. 2015 जनता से चुनकर आया हुआ महागठबंधन था और ये जनता से चुने जाने के बाद के आफ्टर थॉट के बाद का एक पॉलिटिकल अरेंजमेंट है. दोनों में जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. बिल्कुल. इन 2010 उनके पास 117 विधायक थे. 2015 में जिसमें फिर वो महागठबंधन में जीत कर आए, उनके पास 72 विधायक थे. 2020 जिसमें फिर वो जीत कर आए, उनके पास 43 विधायक हैं. तो ये जर्नी जो है ये आपको क्लियर दिखा रही है. जो लोग टीवी पे बैठ के ये एनालाइज कर रहे हैं और इस तरह की कमेंट्री करते हैं, असेसमेंट करते हैं कि इस इमेजरी सच टेफलन कोटेड कि कुछ भी कर ले उसका कोई इलेक्ट्रल इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगा, ऐसी बात नहीं है. कम से कम आंकड़े वो नहीं बताते हैं. ये अलग बात है कि वो नंबर कम होने के बावजूद जो फॉर्मेशंस हैं, he is able to make a formation where he is the leader.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi hit out at the Congress for wearing black clothes on the August 5th in protest against price rise, saying that those who believe in black magic will never be able to win the trust of the people again.
अभी हमने 5 अगस्त को देखा है कि कैसे काले जादू को फैलाने का भरपूर प्रयास किया गया. ये लोग सोचते हैं कि काले कपड़े पहनकर उनकी निराशा हताशा का काल समाप्त हो जाएगा, लेकिन उन्हें पता नहीं है कि वो कितनी ही झाड़ फूंक कर ले, कितना ही काला जादू कर ले, अंधविश्वास कर ले, जनता का विश्वास अब उन पर दोबारा कभी नहीं बन पाएगा.
The Congress hit back with a picture. Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh shared a picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in black clothes and said that he is making a pointless issue about the black clothes. Moving on, the possibility of assembly polls in Jammu and Kashmir this year looks bleak as the Election Commission of India has extended the deadline for revision of electoral rolls. The deadline has been extended from October to November 25th, close to the onset of winter, when holding elections becomes difficult in Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir, remember, has been without an elected government since June 2018, when the BJP dumped the PDP, leading to the collapse of the Mehbooba Mufti government.
No assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir this year. The Election Commission's decision to revise and extend the date of publishing final electoral rolls to the last week of November has further delayed chances of holding elections in Jammu and Kashmir after it was stripped of its statehood and special status. The erstwhile state is without an elected government since June 2018. Regional parties say there is a consistent effort over the last 4 years to deny people the right to elect their own government.
We are now in the 5th year when J&K will not have an elected representative, an elected chief minister at place. It's unfortunate that the process that was set in place some months back has again been curtailed.
As far as the democracy is concerned, it continues to be in suspended animation in Jammu and Kashmir. Elections are one of the tools of restoring democracy, and even that tool has not been restored in Jammu and Kashmir.
The revision of electoral rolls was announced in June following the completion of a controversial delimitation exercise to redraw assembly seats in Jammu and Kashmir. The final electoral rolls were supposed to be completed by October, giving hopes of holding assembly elections. The BJP says it's ready for the polls, but it is the prerogative of the Election Commission of India to hold elections.
Announcing the dates of the election is the exclusive prerogative of the Election Commission of India. This is the constitutional scheme of things in India. As and when Election Commission of India announces, Bharatiya Janata Party is ready, and we are ready. Even elections are announced tomorrow.
Jammu and Kashmir is under second longest period of centre rule. Since June 2018, there is no elected government in the region. After ECI decision to revise the schedule for revision of electoral rolls, the wait for restoration of democracy is only getting longer. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi, Prime NDTV.
Relief to suspended BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has agreed to Nupur Sharma's request to club all the police cases against her so that she does not have to defend herself in different states. The judges said that they have considered the death threats to her, and the Supreme Court also allowed her to approach the Delhi High Court for quashing the FIRs against her. Remember, Sharma was suspended in June from the BJP after her comments about Prophet Muhammad triggered huge protests in India and in many Gulf countries. President Draupadi Murmu appointed Justice Uday Umesh Lalit as the next and 49th Chief Justice of India. Justice Lalit will take over his new responsibility on August 27th. Justice Lalit will become the second only Chief Justice of India to be directly elevated to the position from being a lawyer. Justice Lalit has been appointed on the recommendation of the current Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana, whose tenure ends on August 26th. Justice Lalit will have a 74-day tenure as Chief Justice and will retire on November 8th. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud is expected to be the next CJI after Justice Lalit's tenure. Airlines will now be free to decide what to charge passengers from August 31st. The government announced the removal of price bans imposed on domestic airlines in 2020 during the pandemic, and the government has essentially lifted restrictions on ticket prices. Airlines have been reporting large losses, but some said that with no restrictions on fares now, both upper and lower limits have been removed, and they may discount tickets to ensure that the volume of passengers increases. This could mean good news as domestic airfares might drop. In other news, a tazia was wending its way in a Muharram procession in Udaipur. The tazia suddenly went up in flames, probably due to a short circuit that was caused by incense sticks. A Hindu family that was watching the procession from their balcony immediately threw water on the tazia, and one of the family members in fact even threw one of her saris on the tazia to help put out the fire. The Muslim community then thanked and honoured the Hindu family that helped save the tazia, and the incident took place close to the shop where Kanhaiya Lal was murdered by Muslim extremists. And moving on, the national capital is leading the COVID surge in India as people become lax with COVID protocol and masking. COVID cases are witnessing a sharp surge in the capital. The daily cases are above 2,000 that's being reported, and that is almost twice compared to a week ago. Here's a report.
No social distancing nor masks in crowded public places as Delhi witnesses a sharp spike in COVID cases. There are on average almost 2200 daily cases, almost twice compared to a week ago, and almost 9,000 active cases, the highest in 6 months. Health experts blame a new subvariant of Omicron known as BA 2.75. It's highly transmissible and can escape immunity provided by previous infections and vaccinations.
The number of hospitalization has gone up because of COVID, and this surge is because of multiple reasons. But this week we had analyzed the sample for gene sequencing, and we got the result that more than half, that majority of these have BA 2.75 subvariant of Omicron.
While the hospitalization along with cases is going up, severity remains low according to experts.
Definitely severity is less, people are recovering fast, and most of these people recover, those who are admitted within 5 to 7 days.
कोविड तो बढ़ रहा है, उस पे नजर भी रखे हुए हैं. अगर कोई भी कदम उठाने की जरूरत पड़ेगी हम उठाएंगे, लेकिन मामले बहुत ही माइल्ड है, मामूली सा बुखार है, तो किसी को भी घबराने की जरूरत नहीं.
Despite the steady rise in the number of COVID-19 cases in the national capital, the government is not planning to bring any restrictions yet. However, in the absence of COVID-appropriate behavior, if the situation worsens, then there can be a rethink on that. With camera person Thomas, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.